Hello, this is a Bechstein Model B grand piano that's in stock, and we have made a video when we first assessed it. It's made in 1925 and has an interesting history. It was originally in the Holywell Music Rooms, apparently, in Oxford, which is one of the concert halls, and from there it went to the Music Society, and from there it ended up in the Oxford Union, and has been played by some very well-known people, including pianist Vladimir Ashkenazy and many others. If you want to see some of the people who played it, you can actually see them playing this piano. If you go to Oxford Union Performance, if you look on for a video Oxford Union Performance, you'll find people playing, and you'll see the music stand clearly there. But you'll see from the first video how damaged it was. And my colleague, our French polisher, who's also an artist, he takes a lot of interest in trying to make the piano as beautiful as possible. It's about 30 coats of French polish applied, and then it's finished off, just dulled down a bit so it doesn't have too much reflection, otherwise you don't see the grain. This is mahogany, and a really tasteful mahogany too. I hope you can pick it up on the video, but it was very, very uneven. If you look at the top of the piano on the original video, I'm amazed that he's managed to get this finish on it, and it's very even. There are one or two things which have been disguised because they were so damaged. In fact, the music stand, actually before we go to that, let's have a look at the underside of the lid. By the way, if you have a French polished piano, or if you have a repolished piano, I'm going to have to stop the video to lift this up. As I've said on other videos, it's really important to have it fully open like this some of the time at least, otherwise you do get a fade line in the middle here. There may have been a fade line here, I think, where it's been kept open, and then of course it doesn't fade in this part here, it fades on the back part, and so there's a lot of difference in colour. So if you do have a piano repolished, or you want to keep the polish looking the same, and it's a wood coloured piano, then also close the fall like this, so that also ends up being the same colour as the rest of the piano. Close that sometimes, open it sometimes. But this side of the music stand here, somebody had leant on it, and it's quite typical, and it had cracked. So this has been repaired and re-veneered. You can actually see a slight defect on that, and the other side is slightly different. But I think it's very good, very blended in very well. So that's just a brief video of this. I wanted to show you after it's been polished, and I'm very encouraged by how it's turned out. Now, the inside of the piano had been reconditioned previous to us owning the piano, so we have done quite a lot of reconditioning work ourselves. It had been restored, in fact. You can see, because if you look at the soundboard, that they've obviously masked over the original badge there. We nowadays will take the badge off and get it copied, and so you don't see it being masked over. But you can see that there's a difference of colour where the badge is a different colour from the, or we call it logo actually, sorry, we call it decal. And but the rest of the piano, the frame is good. It was very dirty, actually. You'll see from the previous video. It's not perfect. We could obviously fully redo the inside, but the hammers are good, and that would obviously put the piano more expensive as well. Well, I've done the previous video showed lots of things. I'm not going to show you the mechanics today, but we're still going to have to do quite a lot of refinement before the piano is really ready. Now, by the way, I mentioned before about pedals on Bechstein being really low, because it's really important for me that we can raise the casters up slightly. If you're a tall person, you get much more leg room that way. See from the pedals, the right hand pedal is similar to the left. We mentioned that's a sign of whether it's worn too much. But of course it won't wear so badly anyway, because it's so low down, and on some pedals are high up and the edge of it wears a lot. So, but that's very encouraging too, and of course we've repolished all of the legs and the lyre as well. So that's a Bechstein Model B grand piano made in 1925. Just finished the polishing of it. There's another video of it when we first assessed it, and you'll see how damaged the piano was in that video. It's been in a public place, and as I mentioned earlier, very interesting history the piano's had. And it has been well restored internally. And has a wonderful tone throughout, as you'd expect with a Bechstein of this age. 2 meters long, by the way. the touch is excellent on Bechsteins. It's one of the things I particularly like about them. And this one is set at about 50 grams, so ideally for playing. Plenty of refinement still to do on the action. Because we will be working on it quite a lot more, and there'll be a 10-year guarantee on the piano. But I'm very encouraged how it's turning out, and so if you want a good piano to learn on, or want a good piano to perform on for that matter, then I can thoroughly recommend it. Thank you very much for listening.